So we're here. We're shooting live at Whatever Blows Your Hair Back. Brought to you by High Rise, War Pig, right? High Rise Enterprises, War Pig LLC, Chicago Fabrications. What else?
Chicago Pet Apartments.
Chicago Pet Apartments, and also Whatever Blows Your Hair Back Media.
Yup. Studio. It's kind of
Studio.
like a media center. Look at
So as you can see right now, we're shooting from the headquarters of all these companies. We got the owner here, Tyler. How you say your last name, Tyler?
Mitrzyk, we're good buddies. He's still struggling with that last
Mitrzyk.
name. It's a toughie.
It's a Latino thing, bro. To me, his last name is like Tyler Mitrzyk. But it's Mitrzyk. Where's that last name from, Tyler?
Like my Latino, Polish.
It's a Polish.
Polak. I carry the businessman.
What is it?
I carry the business sense from the Polak side.
There you go. What is it that Polish eat? Don't they have some kind of like
sauerkraut?
Nah, I get it. They eat something else. I thought they ate like.
Don't put me on the spot. I'm the big heritage guy. I can't go back that far, man. When I go back.
Well, anyways,
I got that information.
We're right here. We're in the headquarters of all these companies. Brought to you by the owner. I'm just kind of helping him out with this media thing, with the podcasting. So basically, the vision, Tyler's vision. Tell us about your vision. What's going to happen with this space?
This space has been in work for 2 years, going on 2 years. Starting to feel it out. Got the loft up above us. The space is a self-sufficient space. If you talk to any businessman, Juan, it's the overhead that kills everybody.
Yeah.
It's the overhead. So I just tried to figure out how to knock my overhead. So there's two ways that I could have went about it a couple years ago when you try to either go make more money or try to figure out how to save money, with what you have. That's kind of like making money.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's kind of what I did. I got rid of Chicago. I had all those companies, so I got Chicago Fabs, dropped that rent down to now nothing, right? Because I bought this space and I rent half the space out to other businessmen. So the whole back side of this space rents out, makes $6,000 plus, goes up and down per month, covers the mortgage and nut. So then now none of my businesses are now paying rent.
Nice.
That's your heaviest expense in any small business. You ask these guys moving back here, Nico, some of the shows we talked about, but moving those guys in at $1,000, $1,500 a month, that's scary for those guys. It's really scary for them. And for me, I did that, 10, 15 years ago, I was at that level. So I knew how scary it was for me in the smallest space that I got and no resources with that space. So it was my idea to give a big space like that and give all the resources I didn't have and give a cheaper rate and get rid of all those little expenses like your internet, your heat, your gas. Dealing with all those guys is like a full-time job alone.
For sure.
So I take that off, the burden off all those guys back.
Yeah, for sure. So basically to sum it up, Tyler's got in the front, we got like an event space. So you can't see it from here right now, but we'll do some coverage on this. It'll be part of the future segments. We got a boxing ring in here. We got rock climbing wall in here. Soon to be a sauna and
a steam room.
A steam room.
Big difference.
Steam room back here. We got bathrooms. We got entertainment areas in here. So basically over here we got like a piano area. You got video games. Then on the front, you got the storefront for Chicago Fabs. Upstairs, Tyler just recently moved in. We actually met in the same apartment building. So he's living upstairs. He built a very nice loft upstairs. There's going to be a kitchen. They're actually building the kitchen right now. He's got an office with a security system. And in the back, he's got renters, nice space for fabrications, parking. I mean, this is a full setup, man. You got a DJ booth. So in the future, basically what you're going to have is a nice entertainment space that you can rent out with a bar area. You can host events here. You can do boxing matches here. Whole 9 yards. And the man right here is also he's also managing fighters. So it's a full production. This is a full production agency happening right now. We can do construction projects. You can do your media projects. You can also come in here and do podcasts just like we're doing. So this is the
pretty incredible space, isn't it?
This is a full service agency.
When you lay it out like that, Juan, you did a very nice job. I couldn't have said it better. You said it spot on. Yeah, that sounds really good.
And it comes in with a security guard right here.
And one of the
Corporal.
most important, you mentioned that, Kiefer, earlier on evolution of a space. It really drew to me, and that's what this space is the consistency of evolution. So when Nico moved in, he's an auto detail guy back there, and he's the hardest working guy. He shows up. He cares about his company so much. That was my biggest high. Noticing that I get to come, you're pretty lonely when you own a business and you come to work, you're the owner, you're the boss, you go to the top, no one really wants to talk to you because you want to give them work, right? And it's like, so it just gets lonely. So to come in and see a guy like Nico and his employees didn't show up and one guy's truck broke down and you see him on the phone and you can see it in his eyes that his morning is just terribly going wrong, right? And as much as like that's a sad thing, it's like that gives me relief to know that there's somebody else out there taking hits in the stomach. And so me being around that and having him, first thing I do is help him out, right? I'm like, oh yeah, all right, let me help you out. You need to borrow one of my trucks. How can I help you get through this? That's why I'm here, and that's what I want to provide. And
You're a facilitator.
I'm going to facilitate that, but first, it reminded me that there are people out there working really hard, and that he's one of them. And so,
and I guess the most rewarding thing is that you get to help him, because
that's
he's
what
in
I'm
the
getting
space.
at. And then so where I'm going with that is like evolution of space. I'm like, all right, now I got this guy who works hard, cleans cars. I can't ever take this from him. Like, this is his own. It's this thing. So now I see it as how can I make money with him. So he starts bringing in these nicer cars, Ferraris, some Mustangs, my truck, and he starts taking these video footages of them, and I was just like, well, these are nice, And I was like, got a good thing going here. And I liked seeing all these clean cars coming in here, and I liked pulling my truck in here, getting out, having it spotlessly clean, parked here, walking in here, playing with my music, climbing the rock wall, boxing, whatever event I want, whatever I wanted to do, or go over the front and work. And I'm like, everyone needs to feel this. So everyone wants to do these things that I want to do, kind of in my age demographic of their workday.
Yeah.
I feel like I could be wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I have an easygoing workflow day. I don't compile a lot of stress on because I set my obstacles like the whole day. Can work out. I build the space so I can facilitate my whole what you'd want to do in a day.
For sure.
Eat good, work out, work, hang out with your animals, hang out with other animals. Whatever your hobbies are. And I did it here. And I want to share it with everybody. And now I'm growing with everybody as they're growing. And now we're just like steamroll growing. Now you're here. Now we got Kiefer on board. We got it just keeps growing. And people are adding in and filling spots.
Yeah.
And it's happening like it should.
I think the best part about this all, in my opinion, just because, like, both you and I have worked in construction and dealing with materials on and off. Right?
Yeah.
And I think we could both agree that it really sucks to deal with product because you gotta bid the product, then you gotta handle the product, you gotta ship the product, then you gotta install the product and make sure that everything happens in a timely manner, in an efficient way, and on time. And that shit never happens like that. There's always delays.
Because you brought up, that's the most important
the logistics.
That's what you got to get to. But it's not in the product. The problems aren't in the product. The product's created we already know what the product should look like. There's pictures of it.
Yeah.
I talk about it all the time. It's the way to get the
From
product
point A to
there.
point B.
That's where your mistakes
Exactly.
are happening. The broken truck, the people not showing up,
Stuff getting fabricated incorrectly.
But that's back to the person doing it wrong.
For sure.
It's never back to the product.
So here's the thing, like, we're talking about all these things evolving and growing. Like, dude, this is great. I mean, the way that everything's happening right now, this is what you want. This is the kind of business model you want right here. Because if we can if we can create a media company and a service, it's a lot harder to fuck that up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like right
Sure.
now, for example,
For
right
sure.
now we're creating content. We'll launch it on YouTube. Kiefer can edit it, and if he fucks up in the editing part, we just tell him, hey, you need to change this, and that, and the other.
Yeah.
But in the end, it gets posted online, and it's up to people to tell us if it's good or not. But there's not so many, like, if this kind of business model can work, that's why everybody's trying to do it, right?
Yeah,
Everybody's.
for sure.
I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. We're shooting because we want to try to make a little bit of money. Right? We're doing this because it's fun, but also because there's a business model behind it. If you can get online on YouTube, we can make this thing happen, right? then that's a great business model. You cut all that logistic stuff out of it. We don't have to like you don't have to like store material. It's gonna cost you money to store. How much you charge for people to store here?
So I got some renters in there. We're at $1,300 a month for around 1,000 square feet, which
So
we
how
gotta
much
go
per
up.
square foot? Like
We
$13
gotta
a
go.
square
We're
foot.
around $1 a square foot here, but it needs to actually go up to double that because my taxes just went up.
Yeah.
The bill, the taxes on this is actually $100,000 a year. They're
You
trying
see-
to squeeze out
So
of it.
you see, to my point, if you can cut out moving so much shit and handling so much shit, and you can do a business model like this where you're actually creating content, man, you can make some good money.
Well, you
can-
gotta know that's where it's going. Is the content. That's
yeah,
where
we got to make sure it's fucking good content, right? That's the key. But anyways, let's get back on track. So tell us a little bit about yourself and where you started, where you're from. Where you from?
Is this an intro right now?
Yeah,
Kinda
this is
we're going in?
this is an
intro
intro.
route?
Yeah.
I'm from Standish, Michigan. That's I do the hand thing for you guys, for everybody. So Chicago's down here. I'm sorry, Chicago's right here. So I'm 6 hours up. We're here, 6 hours up. I had no intentions of ever moving to Chicago ever, and I had no dream of being here whatsoever.
How'd you end up here? Like, what happened?
I just graduated college, and
Where'd you go to school first?
I went to Central Michigan University,
How about high school?
Standish Sterling High School.
Were you one of the good students or just a shit show?
I was friends with everybody.
Yeah, but were
I'd like
you,
to think
were,
that.
Were you a
You
good
loved
student?
me or hated me. But
Were you a good student though? Did you make good grades?
Yeah, I had good. I was a C student.
See?
Well, I was a.
You know what though? You don't. This is from my perspective, like the fucking like most brightest students in the class, they're not your business owners.
Well, I didn't want.
That's
I
what
didn't
I
care.
think.
I didn't
That's what I
value. I didn't value being smart in that way. I didn't value having the best, being the quickest math test taker. I didn't cared less. I just didn't.
Yeah.
So I didn't value taking all the college prep classes. So when I say I was a C student, that was more in college because that's when I was actually challenged with classes that I had to take where I couldn't go to wood shop or metal shop.
So about in high school, what were you? An A
High
student
school,
in
I
high
had
school?
like wood shop. I actually had a 3.9 GPA, which is why I got in. But a lot of people didn't credit this. It was actually I was a laugh because it was all wood shop, metal shop, teasters, assistants. Because I would show up and just do what I wanted to do with
Yeah.
So I went to the cool. I was really good at helping the metal shop instructor. I knew all about metal welding. I could weld him his trailer hitch for the week, and he would let me go do it. I knew how to please the person that would value me too.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I took that route. And yeah, it's like
So when you went to college, what was your degree in?
business, but in high
Business?
school I was a welder. I got kicked out of a skill center. I beat a guy up pretty bad. I got my first possession on assault and battery actually from it.
Get
It
the
was
fuck out of here.
Yeah, I was in my welding class for a year. Actually went to the state championship, was a good welder, but I went to the state champ
You went to state championship for welding?
for VICA welding competition, and I
Get the
advanced to
fuck outta
states for
here.
welding when I was in 11th grade, and then I also made it to the state champion for being Golden Glove state champion of on the regional side. It was a state championship.
So
I
you were
won.
boxers as well.
Yeah, I'm a boxer, so I
So,
advanced.
so how'd that happen? When did you start boxing?
Same time I started welding. Same
how old
time I
were
started
you?
punching people
Like
in the face and beat that
15,
kid up.
15, 16 years old?
Yeah, I was 16. Yeah.
God dang, dude.
16, and
So-
that's probably why I started beating. I did use that skill set to punch people pretty aggressively.
So, all right. So, anyways, you go to college, you graduate, and when how old were you when you graduated? 21, 22, 23?
College,
Yeah.
I was 23 because I got deployed. I was in the Marines. I was
Oh, you were in the
Corps.
Marines too.
So yeah, I was in the Marine Corps, joined the Marine Corps Reserves at the So funny because I got into so much trouble from punching that kid. Like I just recently told you that story. How I got assault and battery. They kicked me out of my business class, and so then I had to go back to high school, to normal high school, and that's when I started taking teacher's assistants classes and whatever. So anyways, I ran the dogs to the damn school, and I had some weeds. It's funny, I'm smoking weed right now. I had some weed in my truck apparently, and they ran the dogs. They put me in jail for 5 days, right, in high school. So I didn't graduate high school, to be honest with you. I got kicked out and expelled.
So, what'd you get your GED?
No, they gave me my diploma because I had a 4.9 going into all that trouble. That I didn't have to show up, and they failed me on all the tests, and I still got C's. So I passed all the classes still, but was kicked out 2 months early before graduation.
Damn, dude.
And so then leads me to my next thing. The Marine Corps wouldn't let me in because I was going to the Marine Corps because I was already getting in trouble with the assault and battery for beating that dude up. So then I was like, I just want to go in the Marines. So I went to court and told the courts I was going to the Marines. And so all that shit happened, and I ended up going to college, and I got my degree. I started getting my degree. Then I joined the Marines again. They finally let me in. I had to write a paper. It took me 6 to 8 months to get in the Marines.
What was your paper about? Did you apologize? Like
about me smoking weed and how it was made me a terrible human, and I had to, it was such a lie.
But you had to do what you had to do.
I had to do what I had to do, just like I had to do. I just had to do what I had to do, and I did it. And I got in the Marines, and I gave them the paperwork they wanted. I looked good on, and I did it. I did everything that they tried to stop me. Weed actually stopped me from all of that, but I overcame all them obstacles. Went to college, went to the Marines, accomplished all that. Where were we?
Yeah. So, anyways.
Boxing. Oh, the boxing. That's how I was.
So first, you start boxing, and this is all through, while you're doing all this stuff, you go into high school, you're boxing. At what age did you stop boxing, or you kept boxing?
Never stopped.
So you were in the Marines boxing?
Yes.
So when you get in the Marines, do you stay here
I did
the
not
whole
box
time?
for the Marine Corps. I want to state that. I did not box for the Marine Corps. But if you found a gym and there's a bunch of Marines in there training, I was in there training them boxing. Yeah.
So anyways, when you go into the Marine Corps, do they deploy you like instantly, or you go to boot camp, or how?
So I was in the reserves, but I got deployed quite quickly right out of SOI, right out of boot camp, and then I did a deployment.
Where?
To Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
It was we call it like a float. It was jungle warfare training, make it sound cool. We did jungle warfare training through like 7, 8, 9 different countries. Through Southeast Asia, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia. We would go stay in those countries for 2 weeks at a time out in the jungle and do survival courses, train with the local populace, help them do cool fake missions, have their military attack our military. I mean, we treated it pretty real, to be honest with you, because it's pretty shitty training. It was good training, but like what you went through to do it, just to put on like a show. I'll give you an example. When I finally like realized what we were doing, like imagine a movie, you're shooting a movie, and there's just like a whole war going on below you, like Storm in Normandy. The Navy ship pull up. There's a whole 11 of them. They drop AAVs, which was us, off the back of these ships.
So they do this like real time.
This is real time. This is the real thing. So we're gonna go attack.
Are they actually shooting you guys, or?
There's fake rounds going off. There's all that shit going, and so it's like this whole orchestration.
Did you get the adrenaline that you would?
I didn't really, because I just knew it wasn't real. But you do kind of, because I'll tell you why. Because when you start dropping off the back of the ship, you're no longer just going through, like, you're not even thinking about the mission. You're like, your head just fucking hit the ceiling, water's pouring in, you're puking, homeboy's puking, the waves are rocking you, and you're like, how long are we in here for? Like 6 more hours till we get to the beach. And then now all you're thinking is like, dude, this is survival. This is like not, I don't care, like this is not intense. I'm not life threatened that we're about to go attack this beach. I got to get out of here, and then we got to go buddy team rush up. I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. Every 10 fucking yards and drop and going up, and the machine's gotta move, and you got to correspond to all that, and you got to breach the whole the beach, and you got to secure the grounds, and you go through that whole motion, and they're attacking you with fake guns at the same time.
Are they shooting like
empty rounds?
Bullets,
like we're running. I'm carrying a saw. I had 200.
What do you mean empty rounds? Like what is that?
They're empty. They're just blank rounds, but they're full of gunpowder, and they make the noise.
Oh, but nothing shoots out.
Like the round, the hammer, like the weapon still charges and everything, but there's no ammo that comes out.
Oh, okay.
So you're still up. You're still carrying it. Man, it's got cold kind of. You're still carrying it, and you're like up. You see me, I'm down. They say that, and it's like a ditty, and you just move forward, and then like kind of. Guy rushes forward, you suppress fire, another guy, it's like ready, team, fire, assist. So you got your 4-man team, you got your machine gunner, you got your basic riflemen, you got your squad leader, your team leader in there, and he's running your 4-man teams, and that's how you assault the target. So like I was the machine gunner, so I was placed here. So my A gunner would be, so I would move, I would suppress fire, like just, it was empty rounds, like this isn't real combat, but this is what you would do. And he would bound forward,
So you guys would be fighting Asians.
And they would be doing the same thing to us, and we would meet in the middle and they'd be speaking some fucking language, whatever. Like nothing on them, but every country I went to was a different language, so I quit trying to learn.
Yeah.
Because
Did they speak English
speak
at all?
Thai, Philippines, that's all different, and the different currencies. I quit trying to.
Did you guys bow or did you guys
Yeah,
high five?
yeah. You always respected their traditional culture.
Yeah,
We had
you guys
classes
bowed?
on
Did
each
you guys
culture,
bow?
of course, and I went with the
Yeah.
monks. I trained in Thailand. On a different deployment later on in my career, I got to train with the monks and stayed with them for 3 weeks.
Did you
But
watch the grass grow?
It's about what it's like. If you want to watch the grass grow, join the military. I once made a rope that was 15 feet long out of grass.
No.
We want to talk about wasted fucking time. In the military, just sitting there in these drunk. When you're doing all these, I'm telling you, the movement. And then when you get there, it's like, all right, now we're staying 2 weeks here, and we're gonna do a survival course with these guys. And so then they take us out, and we set up these booby traps to catch monkeys and snakes. And then
Did you guys eat monkeys?
Yeah, we ate monkey. We ate snakes and rats and bugs. We did that. It was a whole smorgasbord of all that shit, and we would.
How was it? Taste like chicken or how's monkey taste?
Oh, dude, it was so fried and burnt. It was like you're just like chewing on it, and you're like.
You're just hungry, dude.
It's funny because all my buddies, I was on fire watch during this, and I hear all this commotion. All these Marines come back, and there's blood all over their faces. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And they all got to drink cobra blood. So the cobra, they chopped their heads off, they started squirting cobra blood all over their faces. And like the craziest Marines were the ones who like, ah! And it's like those guys, I'm like, these guys came back bloody as fuck. What were they doing? And it was like those guys that would do that crazy shit. But yeah, I don't know why I told you that story. But yeah, that was in Thailand. I didn't get to watch that. And like that was one of the main videos that was posted.
So
and I was on Gear Watch.
So anyways, how does it, did you ever do any real combat, like killing, did you ever have to kill somebody? You never had to kill somebody? Well, that's good, man, because I heard that's pretty, like,
yeah, I don't even have
people
much to
that-
talk about it.
yeah.
You know, I don't have anything to say
I
about
mean,
it.
people that have, like, those kind of experiences have, like, a lot of PTSD, you know, from...
Yeah, those guys could. I know a lot of guys that don't, and a lot of guys that do, and like I said, I don't talk on that much. That's
So
not
how
my
long
field.
how long were you in the military for?
9 years.
And then 9 years, so so how old were you when you got out of there?
28.
28. And
35
when did you start? So you're 35 now. When you come back, did you start your businesses before, like while you were in the
I was writing
military?
business plans on the ship.
Yeah.
I was giving class. I was teaching my buddy. Ask him. I was teaching. I'm not. Okay. But I was teaching my buddies on the ship how to write business plans. Mike Brasic, he was going to do a towing company. I'm like, dude, follow my outline. You know, I was writing business plans for college.
So basically, when you get out of the military, what was your first business?
Tyler's Terrariums. I was still in the military. That's why I was confused.
Tyler's what?
Tyler's Terrariums.
Terrarium?
Tyler's Terrariums. That's exactly why I
What the hell
don't
is
use
that?
that name. It's the first company I started.
What did you guys do?
Custom reptile enclosures.
Oh, okay.
I started making these, man, trying to sell them online. No one wanted them.
No one bought them?
So then I did a show
Sounds
called...
like my first business.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking cycling clothing, nobody wanted them.
Yeah. You learn from your first business. They're failures, but they're really just a stepping stone. All I did is like, well, I'm changing my name. Well, I'm changing my product. Changing everything. But you're still operating as a business owner.
Yeah, for sure. So then after that, what comes next? You do that shit, doesn't work out, it's a total failure. What happens next?
Just listen to the people, man. And everyone wanted just to buy barnwood because I started a wood shop to build the terrariums, and I couldn't afford any wood, so my buddy was tearing down the barn, and I went and got a bunch of barnwood for building materials. And so then I just posted cool stuff online on Craigslist to sell, and
people were buying it.
And what took off was the wood. I was taking pictures of piles of wood against the corner, just like that, with dust on it. Ching ching. And I'm like, dude, these guys want to pay I was doing it for 50 cents a foot. But to me, I got it for free. I didn't value my time back then when I went and tore down a damn barn. But yeah, I was making $200, $400 sales. While I was making no money before that. I was in the
So it was a
Marines.
win for you, yeah.
Win, any kind of just to prove a product in a sale, to complete the circuit.
And that was in Michigan.
No, that was in Chicago.
Oh, so after the military, how the hell did you end up here?
I transferred units. My unit, I just got back from a deployment to Southeast Asia. They were doing it again. Dude, I'm fucking out of here. I'm about to finish college. I'm going to start the company in my family business. That business model, which get into right now what I'm doing, I'm starting this in Chicago. And I told them, and they let me lead that unit. And I came and joined this unit, 224. I left 124, joined 224. So these guys just got back from Iraq a year before. And then I joined, so they were pricks to me. So then I jumped on a deployment to Southeast Asia, got back, joined this unit, who just got back from Iraq. So these guys are fucking pricks to me again. And I'm like, fuck this, dude. And then I'm like, get me out of these because these guys all got combat deployments and, Purple Hearts. And I'm not a shitbag, but this wasn't my career path. It just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Just I explained.
You weren't totally against it. You would
not at all. I was a Marine infantry grunt.
Yeah.
You
That was my MOS. To do it.
Yeah, I wanted. I'm not gonna say.
You just never had the luck to get out there and do it.
It wasn't a luck. It was just like my number wasn't called. My path in the Marines took me here. I activated here. I graduated with a degree. Yeah. I started a business where you can take it to do money, where there's opportunity.
Yeah.
I did.
But to clear it up for all the Marines that are watching, you didn't fucking sell out.
I'm a reservist tampon pussy.
No way. So you were willing to be there if you.
That's not what anyone cares about. Everyone's always willing to be there for the hardship. Not everyone gets to get combat. A lot of Marines know what I'm talking about. Once again, I don't know. I can't speak for those guys. I don't have no combat, but I trained with enough of those motherfuckers, and enough of them told me what to do and screamed at me to know how they would treat or were treated and what they did over there and the stories. I relive some of their stories they tell me, man, about. There's some fucked up stories, and I don't have the right to tell their stories. So,
yeah, for sure, yeah.
But I think of them a lot, and I'm just like, I said, well, that's what it would be like over there. But just because that was my MOS, that was what I did. Infantry guys had war stories.
Yeah.
And I did. I had such a business background, and I would take these opportunities of just leaving and going, and I wound up in Chicago. And then once again, there was no opportunity there. I started my business. I transferred to another unit where there was more opportunity to work with the captains and the officers. And then I transferred to Civil Affairs CAG unit, which is even a better, superior unit, which even took higher, better Marines, where I advanced to being the top 5 guys there in shape, running these. They spent like $250,000. This was when I was 27, training me, sending me back to Thailand, all around training with the police in Montana, and going to Florida, going to West Virginia, all these cool places, and doing all these cool training ops, that's how it all wound up. And like I have this really cool story, and I talk to these other Marines, they're like, "Fuck you, man! I don't got this story. I wake up at night with problems," and they get mad at me, and I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my experience to myself."
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, your shit got took down that path, and you did 3 back-to-back deployments to Iraq. And I'm a reserve piece of shit, and now I have to like flaunder I don't like to talk about, I am proud of my Marine Corps achievements, but like I will not, like, don't get emotionally drawn in a conversation with somebody. Let them know that I'm not the guy you should be thanking.
Yeah, but you should be proud of it, because it was a different path. I mean,
I didn't choose my path.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But I did in a way.
Yeah.
I didn't take myself out of combat, but I took myself in some really cool opportunities and got to see some really cool things, and became, I just told you the story, and how that came out, I can't change that.
Exactly, but I think it is what it is, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You didn't necessarily like choose the first place you got deployed to. You know what I'm saying? So there you go.
I made it all work. I wanted to be in college. I wanted to be a Marine. I wanted to be a boxer. I wanted to be a businessman. I wanted to do all those, and then I was told that I could.
And you did it.
And I did it because the recruiters. I'm like, I want to go to college. They're like, well, there's one slot. It's called the 92-day reservist. Nobody knows about it. Tell me more. You go to college here, and then you come back, and then you go to SOI. It's like, sign me up. And it's like, no one at boot camp knew about that. And I'd always have to raise my hand and be like, they're like, 92-day reservist, raise your hand. And like me and like this other smart kid. It was like, because the smart kids did. I'm not saying I was a smart kid, but the guys that wanted, like, really cared about their education, I feel, if you look at the guys who did what I did, Stephen Gaddy's a lawyer. He owns $1 million in real estate right now. I'm in the same boat. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a businessman. The other guys that I know were 90-day reservists are successful as well. I don't follow their career, but I know they're doing well.
No.
You just want to talk about some Marines that went in out of high school that did 3 back-to-back deployments. Most of them are making anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000 a year in a mechanic job or working in a blue-collar industry. They get drunk. They're overweight now. They have a few kids. I see them. Their story, that's the story you hear, and those are the guys with the problems. And they chose the hardcore gunner path, like, put me on the front line post, like, all the time. I'm not saying I wasn't that guy, but they were the ones that, I don't know, like, get the finger smashed. They were the ones that always just get fucked up in the Marines, get in trouble, get the drunk driving, just DUIs. Like, those are the guys that you hear stories about, the crazy Marines. Yeah. And those are the guys with the stories. You don't hear stories about.
Do you think any of these guys that end up on the streets, you know, like, as homeless?
Yeah.
For sure?
For sure.
You think so?
No, I wouldn't say homeless, but some of them I know are pretty fucked up. You know, they live lies. The only thing they live behind is their combat deployment. They still share pictures of Facebook of their combat deployment. Like, that's their highest achievement. Yeah. Thank God they have that, because that's something to give them proud of, but at the same time, that's what gives them the reason to say that they're a fucked up pile of shit. And
do you think the government takes care of these guys?
I think the government gives all the opportunity for those guys. Just as much as the bum we were talking to, there's opportunities out there for those guys, and it takes work to get those opportunities, and that's just the start of the problem, is they don't want to work. So as soon as you put an obstacle in front of them, that's where they fail. The guy is only willing to take free stuff if you can convenience him at him time where he's feeling most comfortable. As soon as you put an obstacle into him, like, meet us at this time, a commitment, it's a fail. So it's back to commitment, obstacles, back to the guy on the streets.
Yeah, he's just trying to get a freebie.
And a lot of those guys are military because they were told what to do the whole time in the Marines, and they had structure.
So then they were getting told when to get up.
Yeah,
so you get them out of structure. They don't know what to do with themselves.
They left their family before they had a family. Maybe they were orphans. A lot of them were orphans in the Marines. I'm not gonna lie. I ran to boot camp. I have stories of these guys that were fucking orphans. I had nothing. You know, I didn't tell not one of them came from a successful family. Kept my mouth shut. I didn't make very many friends. I was a silent guy. I didn't try to be the leader. I knew I had to get through this 13-week task, and I treated every kind of thing like that. Until kind of now, I talk about shit because I have results. You can't talk about that shit without results, and that's the problem with what we're hearing online. Is there's people starting podcasts doing exactly what we're trying to do, but none of them assholes have results. Some of them that are doing it don't have that much results. They're actually out there saying, "Hey, you gotta wake up in the morning. It's called endurance. You know, you gotta have discipline. You gotta have your 3 main work trades. You got it," and they're good in front of the camera. But why should I listen to you? Because you're listening to other people say that and you're inspired by it. But I'm not inspired by you because you didn't do anything. And now you're ruining me and my inspiration to do this. And shame on you. Because I feel insecure now because I look online and I see people doing this on regular Facebook, and I'm actually putting time, and I put a $1.5 million into a facility, and I dreamed this whole studio, and this just wasn't a made-up idea. Me and my buddy just decided to do on a hunting camp. And then put a camera. It's way more than that, and it needs to be shown how we're about to do it, not by getting sit in front of the camera.
That's my point with podcasts. Is like, I think that's the problem I have with podcasts, is that you got 2 people sitting in front of a camera, but you're not showing any of what's going on. You're not showing the results. You're not showing what.
You're not showing a pretense. You're not showing a pretense. You're not showing a vision of when you had that pretense. Casted 15 years, and now you're in the result 15 years later. That's what we're trying to showcase.
For sure.
Too many people decided to get motivated at 30 years old. I'm sorry. After the pandemic, and they're all businessmen working from home, and well, I can figure out how to work from home now, and they're this reborn woke person. And then now we're dealing with those people out there, and that gets political on its own. But there's too many of those, and we need to stop those motherfuckers, and we need to surface the grinders, the guys you haven't seen for 15 years.
That is not easy.
Because they've been buried for 15 years. You're not supposed to see them.
Yeah, they're not dressed up in suits, right?
They're not dressed up in suits. They're actually in the bottom of a shit pit. They're getting sued somewhere.
Yeah, they're not wearing the Gucci loafers, right?
Yeah, they're not taking pictures with their girlfriends on a boat somewhere, like saying that I've been on a vacation for 3 weeks. And then coming back and going on another vacation and showcasing those results from based off what? You've been on vacation since you got out of college, dude.
Yeah. So I think that's the other good point about this podcast, is showing, like, hey, look, it's okay. it's okay not to have this lavish lifestyle that some people are showing online, right? That it's not all like Gucci shoes. It's not all vacations. It's not all.
But you're not double down. It shouldn't be any of that.
Yeah.
That's where I was wrong in the beginning. You know, like when I first made my $20,000-$30,000 lick. Me and my friend Corey were like, let's go on vacation. I went and pissed 10 of it away going, and we were bragging about ourselves. We're these big successful businessmen. I remember to this day. I mean, you got to fake it till you make it. But I mean, me and this guy, we were getting like a high rolling place in Mexico, and we would just go buy bottle, and we'd be like, yeah, we're all business owners. We work from our home, and we had that. And they're like, man, we could tell you were like the new gen. We were the new generation trying to prove success. You're the same age. And there was nothing there for us.
And then...
Oh, yeah, going on vacations, acting like everyone's acting right now. It's my age.
Yeah.
Buying bottles that you can't afford, but you can afford it because you got the money in your account, but you should be double downing on whatever the fuck you're about to do. But you were so excited that you thought you made it because that's what you're supposed to feel like you made it. Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
You know that feeling?
I know the feeling because my first commission check, $60,000. So you can just imagine, you know, after taxes, I probably got like half of it. I got like $35,000. That was in Miami, bro. You fucking $30,000 in your fucking, you know, in your bank account.
Yeah. Well, what about when you were a model though? Like when you were, I would figure you would have felt that feeling when you did your first video modeling and doing.
When we get to my story, I'll tell you.
No, but that was a serious question. No,
yeah,
I literally thought that's when you would feel that.
That was a different high. That was a different type
high.
Of, that was a different.
Because that's
got
to be some type of. That's like a first business high, like me. Finally proud enough saying I am. When the day when I was proud enough saying I own my own business.
Yeah, that was a fictitious high. But I'll tell you about.
Sure,
about
I get it. I
whenever,
get it. Yeah, there's some fake highs coming up.
That's a very, very fake high that I had. But anyways, so we, you know, you go to you have that first. That was what business was that when you were? That's when you were flipping product like raw wood.
That is when I started converting Tyler's training into Chicago Fabrications.
And what brought that first 20,000-30,000? What was that job? You remember?
Yep. Craigslist. Advertising. Sitting on my phone, on my computer every morning, every night, reposting ads every 4 hours because Craigslist would allow me. I got the cheapest wood. I'm a welder. Remember I was telling you I'm a welder?
Yeah.
I can weld better than everybody. I'm the best welder for the cheapest prices. Doing all the every cheesy line that you think a sale that you could do as a kid growing up, like some promotion on the side of a building that you've seen.
Yeah, that's what you
I did on Craigslist. And I did it better than everybody.
How many jobs? Was it one job or multiple jobs that got you to
the multiple
$20,000,
ones,
$30,000?
$200 here, $200 here, $400 here. I instantly wanted to scale that. So the big money, the fabrication end came from a guy from Chuck Agency, a renter actually to this day in my facility out of New York, got a hold of me and wanted some signs fabricated, 6x8 signs and installed to go post ads on every week, guerrilla marketing style. And I would go hang these signs up.
Where were they?
So you go any shitty area, any shitty neighborhood. You go down in like Ashland and wherever, side street, and there'd be a corner store right there, and there'd just be an empty brick wall. You'd go to that guy and you go, hey, well, he already hired another guy. It's a great business model on the marketing end. He'd go to that guy and go, hey, I'll give you $200 a month if I can put a sign on your wall. Roger that. Sign goes up, and then he does an advertising agency. Then he puts like a CD would release, and he would go put that CD cover all over that sign for 2 weeks and charge him like $6,000 or I don't know what he charged him. I always was curious. And so that sign I'd go hang up so they could plaster that ad on. So I did that at a scale of 30 locations, 20 signs, wooden signs, metal signs. I project managed it. I hired sign companies. It was around $20,000, $30,000. That was when I realized I had people who were working for me.
And that's when Chicago Fab started.
That's when Chicago Fab was like, dude, I'm selling wood.
And I'm
building tabletops. I'm actually welding steel signs. Oh, and these were aluminum actually. The ones that we actually did were aluminum. Then I hired a subcontractor to weld it. And then I started getting welding gigs from that because I was welding it. And then that's when I was like, this is a fabrication. This ain't wood. This ain't steel. This is fabrication.
Yeah.
And then glass came from my trim, which is glass, water,
Yeah.
plastics.
And then you register Chicago Fabs right when, like, as an LLC when this happened, or before or after?
Yeah, right when this happened, that's when I started getting
You were
insurance.
Like, and then what? How was the name? How was the name Chicago Fabs? Why? Like, how did that come up? When did that come up?
This is when I got smart. You know how you talked earlier when you're like, Tyler Terrera, and what do you say?
Yeah,
How you
yeah.
spell that? What do you say? Well, I got sick of that right away. You got to think target market, target demographic. Kind of simple, but hard. People skip these fundamentals. Where are you doing business at? Chicago. What are you doing? I'm fabricating.
Genius.
So what is your
Genius.
business name going to be? What's that person going to put into Google? Chicago Fabrication. There's all my competition in my organic name. Instead of saying I'm Tyler's
Construction.
Tyler's Construction.
Yeah,
No
nobody
one
gives
gives
a fuck about Tyler.
is. You just wasted that keyword. Now you're marketing the word Tyler that no one cares about, and you're competing construction against a million people that are
Yeah, they're
already
huge
got a
or bigger
distinguished
than
name.
you. Yeah, like power construction.
So I use that to my advantage, and like.
That's very smart. Hey,
And
man.
so I came up with Chicago Fabrications, and I carry that on, and
Yeah.
I'm hard on people like Nico. I'm like, Nico's Auto Detail.
Yeah, change your fucking
Who
name.
cares about you, Nico? Now your company's worth more. Because I'm going to buy your company. I'm not Nico. Nico don't exist. The auto value name, whatever you build, the equity behind that name still exists.
Yeah.
I just take off the Nico.
You started fabricating. You got the name Chicago Fabs. It's very, I like your philosophy, your philosophy behind naming the company. So we got the Chicago Fabs name. So then, did you buy the other building where you were at? How did that happen in the sequence? What sequence was that at?
Jesus, man. Yeah, we're good. So yeah, I got thrown off just now.
Thanks, bro.
Dang.
Yeah, come on, you gotta.
I appreciate it,
You need some
Nico.
scope? You wanna gargle some scope?
Thanks, bro.
I was just telling you that story when I hit the big contract, 20,000 or whatever,
Yeah.
and I went and partied and whatever, and I came back. Funny story is my company caught on fire. I was renting my shop out to other builders. I was making money that way
At the
too.
other
Yeah, it was my
location?
first business model. Was actually this business model of renting shops. So they're paying $250 a month. I had two of them.
So did you already buy that building at this point?
No, that's when I went and bought this. It started on fire.
Yeah.
This guy, this renter, burned my whole shop down.
And you were renting at the time,
I was
too.
renting $1,000 a month. All my tools I've had built up in my company.
That big ass 10,000 square foot space?
No, one before that. One when I started. Anyways, caught on fire. I got another when I got my first $20,000 lick on a big business. Then I just got another $30,000 in insurance money. And so I was like, dude, I got like 60 G's. Back to what you were saying. Back then, I'm like, I can flex something. Boom, went right to somewhere 3,000 square feet, $3,000 a month. Moved in. I instantly went with that, and then from there I was there for a year and a half, and then I kept trying to buy that building for $1 million. I couldn't get a loan because it takes years. We'll get into that later. It takes years for that. And so years later, after 3 years of renting again, I finally got to buy a building for $770,000, 10,000 square foot, from Yannette, a Puerto Rican woman.
How did you get the loan?
The SBA. I learned about the 504 loans, the 70A loans. I learned about how you get funding, and I learned about mortgages, and that's a whole nother bit I learned.
Yeah.
And then
So-
I bought a building.
So then you moved into that building, and then what happened? You started hiring a bunch of motherfuckers to run the place, or what?
Yeah, that Chicago Fab was taking off. My marketing was going on. I had 6, 7 jobs going on, 6 different bars I was building in the city. It was just a shit. I had 20 employees. It was crazy. And
How much did you pay everybody? Like you started people out what? Like you paid salaries?
$20 an hour.
$20 an hour?
$20 an
That's
hour. I
pretty
brought
good.
them in at
That's pretty good.
$15.
Did you give them like a set schedule? Like people had to come in the morning?
Oh yeah, I had punch-in clocks.
What if they were late? You fired them?
I wasn't that guy, man. I didn't engage. That would give for a bad work day automatically
Yeah,
if I
for sure.
approached it. And I tried to
Yeah,
I tried
let
to break
people-
away. I looked at the military structure. You never get yelled at by the captain. The captain would go to the sergeant would go to the corporal would come and fucking take you out back and smoke you. And I would never see it, but I know it got handled.
Yeah.
And I tried to implement that. I failed. Hey, quit moving shit back there. We're podcasting.
So basically, that structure failed because these guys aren't military people. That's why.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Because people just want to, I think especially nowadays to where like the workforce is moving to like, especially after COVID, we got people that just want to fucking do whatever they want. But it works because people have computers.
It's actually working for me now more than ever. That's why I'm working with you, because you get to work how you want, I get to work how I want, and I know it don't work. I know the military structure does work, but I know the people I can apply it with.
Yeah.
The military structure is basic to a corporate structure. It's the same exact
Same
shit.
thing, yeah.
And if you never get into the corporate structure, nor the military structure, I can't work with you.
Yeah.
But if you came out of corporate structure,
That's
and you're in the
why I
military,
work with you, because I
can work with
understand.
you. We can
Understand
work
that.
together. And those simple fundamentals existed there. They exist there. And shaving, punctuality in the corporate world, that's real. I was talking with a dude who worked as a recruiter, and he's like, yeah, I'd send people home without a shave. I'd embarrass them. I'd call them out in the meeting. I'm like, dude, that's some military public humiliation style leading. I don't see that. I'm happy to hear it exists, but that's some you don't see that anymore. I bet you he don't do that anymore. That was probably 5 years ago.
Yeah. All right, so then basically so now we're at the Chicago Fabs, and then what happens after things are fucking going good, man? You got 20 employees, you're fucking selling work. So what the fuck happened? Where'd all these people go?
It's like anything. It's like a heartbeat. It's like a graph. It's like the economy. You go so high, and you just fall so hard.
Yeah. So
that
what
was
happened?
me.
Tell me, because that's around the time we met.
No. You met me on the second win. I rammed her up hard and fell twice.
Oh, you fell twice.
Oh yeah.
What happened, dude? So
First
how many
one-
people were gone on the first go? Like how
First
many
one,
people
I'll make
left?
it quick because it's a really deep story. It gets dirty. I had the wrong people involved. A lot of young kids, college kids, giving them too much leash. And with financing of what I had, I learned what I could expose. I had $1 million plus coming, and I was letting kids out of college see, and letting them run my payroll.
So basically, they were stiffing you.
No, but at the end, I got extorted, and there's some personal things. They got to know me, and I start to learn. They start to realize they don't like the chain of command structure, and they personally want to attack me, and that's a whole other story. And I'm not gonna say those people's name. But I got hit pretty hard,
You know why you don't want to say those people's names? I'll tell you why.
I can't credit them.
You don't want to give them credit on camera. Fuck them.
Nah,
They don't deserve
credit.
it. It's like the old company that fucked me. You know what? I'll never mention that company's name because they suck.
They suck.
And they're fucking going under right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I'm going to the top.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
exactly.
There's
And
no
that-
point in
With
exposing-
negativity, you're not gonna. If I give out negativity's gonna.
Well,
come
not only
back.
that, but it's no point in giving them credit.
That too,
put
because you're already
yeah.
looking at yourself like we're gonna get somewhere, and they're gonna hear that, and they're gonna get. Yes.
Oh
they're
yeah,
gonna
that's
succeed.
me. I'm the guy he was talking about.
Yeah.
No, fuck you.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not
yeah.
gonna get that.
They're still gonna
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that, but their name doesn't get to get Googled.
Exactly.
That's all. Yes, that's why I won't.
Beautiful. I
won't
like
say
it.
that.
I like it. Anyways, so you fall hard and then you build it back up. Like, why did you build it back up? Like, what gave you the drive to build it back up?
Because I was building the space. So what I realized, I didn't fall hard. I fell hard by that notion of my staff. But I didn't know the equity that I was building, and I sacrificed my staff. This is how I look at it now. I sacrificed my staff by putting them through. I blame myself because I put them through a shitty experience of growing a company and building a company out while running a company. I tried to run a company, place people that I didn't really know in charge of it, step outside the box, let this operate, buy a building, operate on the facility as its own entity, while this company, Wired, is working Chicago Fab. So now Warpig Enterprises is working and hiring to develop the space, so Chicago Fabs. But I need Chicago Fabs to build the space.
So Warpigs does what?
Owns real estate.
Warpigs owns real estate. Chicago Fabs does fabrication, and
Correct.
building projects.
There's a big difference between the two. Liability reasons and business-wise, you do separate those.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, and Chicago Pets Apartments is strict.
That is an online store that was meant to advertise pet-friendly apartments, also do affiliate advertising for pet supplies.
Got it. And then let me ask you a question. High rise. So, does that marijuana gets legalized in Chicago? And
That was a before game, before marijuana came. I spent like 20 G's on the business plan upstairs. I built High Rise out to be this grow company, to also do affiliate advertising, to sell dirt, fertilizer, all grow products, grow tents, lights, seeds, everything you need to sell, because it got legalized, and I wanted to be the guy to sell everyone their tents.
yeah,
They're-
to make
they're
sure
small tents.
they could grow.
So I tried to be that guy because I seen that new market. Plus, I like weed, and I was in it, and I didn't hit that hard enough, and the pandemic was going down. And things just didn't work out with me in that business, and I still keep that business and I use it, and that's going to facilitate something in that industry, but I haven't found it yet.
For
So
sure,
that
for
company's
sure.
just on autopilot right now,
Yeah.
paying all the overhead of the website and the marketing. I'm keeping it alive.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
will look back in 20 years and they'll see a company that's 20 years old. You know, it's from 2018, so it
Yeah.
still shows life.
That's good. Yeah.
Someone could even buy it and use it.
And use it.
for
I mean,
their
that's a
marijuana
great
company.
name. That's a great name. High rise. I mean, that's a fucking good name.
Which like a business is like a race car.
No, yeah.
When it's ready to be raced, get the right driver, we can win races. But if that business don't got the right race car driver, don't put them in it because you're going to ruin that car. So
That's
High
right.
Rise
That's
has
a good-
not
that's
got the
good.
right driver, and neither has Chicago Pet Apartments. When I get that driver, those cars are built to the tilt already.
Yeah,
And they're going to be able to put it in gear and go and compete with people.
Yeah.
But right
And not
now,
only
they're
that,
in the
but
shop.
listen, high rise. What do you own the domain? High rise.
Of course, yeah, High Rise Seed
Oh,
Bank, yeah.
dude, high rise. You could sell that fucking domain easily.
Yeah,
Easily.
well, I got the whole website built. I got every platform of social media. I have content for 4 years. I have real progress of grows on there. I mean, it's all there. All the content's there.
Yeah.
You can even buy seeds and buy stuff from it at this moment. Click on
Yeah. Highrise.com.
highriseseedbank.com.
Highriseseedbank.com.
Seed bank.
Bank.
It started out as a seed bank. I just wanted to sell seeds because that was the gray area 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to get involved in this industry somehow.
Yeah.
And I plunged in through the seed way and realized that's not the way. I'm not a breeder. I'm not going through the seeds. I'm going to take it through products and business, what I know.
Yeah.
And that's
Moving
where I'm at right now.
Yeah. So basically, you go. You fucking fall to the ground and you build it back up. Who helps you build it back up?
His name's Bay Abbott.
Yeah.
I met him.
Does he still
Same
work for
story
you,
as
or-
you. Same story as you.
Does he still work for
He
you? Or
never worked for me. He always
Okay.
worked with me.
does he
and-
still work with you?
Yes, to this day. Yeah. And he's very successful, and everyone he hangs around now are millionaires. He got me into crypto. He seen me when I was down because I just moved into the high rise, and
He lived in your
I was
apartment
in my
building?
20s. I was in my young 20s. He was 24, 25. He's looking for a lick to catch. He was a grinder, you know. He had the sauce, he would say. And he was starting his own company, same as me, and we just had great conversations.
He lived in your apartment building?
He lived in
just
an
like me?
apartment building, and his roommate was Jack from Grove Bags. And I helped Jack create this company and bag. And it starts back with meeting Bay. And it all goes back to those bags and being in that facility and him helping me and Jack helping me. As them young business guys seen me down, helped me any way they could, just help around and just get me back on my feet. They came and just answered phones and emailed people for me, helped me grow Etsy accounts, all for free. Just because they see me, I was deprived. I don't want to credit these guys, but I was like, damn, I just smashed this bitch down. I'll show you the graph I made. I went from, I was making my first 4 years in business, it was 20,000, 40,000, 80,000, 320,000 to $1 million. So 360,000. You know, that was my next year. And so like I had to come back from that. And
So
which
then
I
you
just
come
did.
back from that, and you had that. That's when you had another team of 20 people, right?
I had about 10, but I was doing, the funny thing is I was building this space. I did the same thing.
So then you bought this space while you were fucking doing this.
I left that space owned with Chicago Fast.
And that's when we meet.
That's when we
you
meet.
and I meet. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, the space is on its own, operating. It's got a leader. It's
you
now-
thought it had a leader.
Yeah, I thought I had its leader, but it wasn't being bothered by a construction here. But it was, because I wasn't there
To manage
overseeing the leaders that I put in charge.
Yeah, yeah.
Looking back at it, of course, I thought I had my shit together. I was here, I was managing this build up because I had this vision right
Yeah.
here. How am I going to get this far when I'm over at Chicago Fabs in a dust factory?
Yeah.
You
Now
know?
let me ask you a question: was the podcast and this media company always a part of the vision, or
Yeah,
is it something that
I got podcast 4 years ago. Me trying to do these same conversations, same whatever blows your hair back. There's videos in my office punching a punching bag. I just didn't have the right space for it, and I knew
and
it.
you didn't have the right people?
I didn't have the right team. I didn't know how to do the video. You know, that's why Kiefer's here. That's why you're here. I didn't know how to facilitate it. If I could have done this 4 years ago, I would have, but I couldn't have. I didn't
Yeah.
have a cool space. Actually, I did. A fucking office at my last place.
Yeah, it was
badass.
great. It was badass. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
It
you've
was
seen it,
awesome.
and then
Yeah,
I turned it
remember.
into that grow and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff, and shut that down.
Yeah. So, anyways, so now we're here. So then you sell the other building, right?
Fine. Yep.
How
Sell it
much-
twice.
How, what?
Sell it twice.
How did it happen?
Pandemic hit. Person was buying it. They were $100,000 in. Pandemic hit. I was $40,000 in with these guys. He said, "I'm not getting my money back." I said, "You're not getting your money back." They said, "Okay." I said, "No, it's not okay." This building right here, and I went to the Russians who I bought it from, and I said, "I'm not giving you my 40,000. We're working this deal out, and we're gonna buy. I'm buying this, and I'm gonna own that one too, because I made $100,000 off that."
And the guy never asked you for his $100 back?
They ran me through the ringer for a year on it. I made them give me $15,000 at a time. They kept promising me the money came because I was in it here with this
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
for an over 40.
Well, how does that
50,
work?
60?
Did you get away with $100,000 if somebody?
There was
owes
no
you money?
clause in the contract that if a pandemic hit and the bank pulled the loan, that there was redemption on their earnest money. And I, being the bulldog I was, would only allow them to go forward if they gave me $15,000 personal money refundable at the business deal. I wouldn't let them keep dragging me. I said, "You're not getting the building, it's going back on the market if you don't pay me $15,000. Okay, $15,000. Next month comes up. If you don't give me $15,000 more and it's gonna be credited towards your purchase, I'm not facilitating this deal, and you're gonna now lose your 15 and your 30. So now they're caught at 50. They can walk away and then I'm gonna take away from them, or I can let them ride out and continuously take money
Why didn't they just buy the fucking building? Why do they keep doing that?
because I was selling the building for $1.3 million. They didn't have the money.
Oh, they didn't have enough money
They
to
needed
put a
the
down
bank to
payment.
fund. They needed the bank to fund it. Over here, I'm trying to buy this building for $1.2 million, but I ain't got no money in my pocket because I'm facilitating this deal that's going on, and
So
no
you-
one knows I'm in a pickle. I'm in a pickle, a $3.5 million pickle. In
So you're basically, dude. So you're basically fucking funding this operation with their money. Ah, that's
this
fucking
floor right
awesome.
here, this floor was getting poured with their money. Here comes the kicker. At the end of all that, I get a loan. I get $120K dropped into my account from the SBA
No.
because I got nothing. I got nothing from the pandemic. So they just fucking dumped $120,000. I haven't heard nothing back since. Woke up $120,000 richer. I said, okay. Now I got this space. I'm in here. I just made 100 there. I got another 100 there. You see where I start working both spots? I got a full staff there. So then I put another staff here. So then I had fucking 5-6 guys working here, full construction.
I remember.
Pouring in money. I was running over there with a full staff, 10 people. So I was back, broken up, but scaled again. So I was if I would have just kept my money and not operated Chicago Fabs, I would have had $250,000 in my pocket.
That's like right when we meet at
Yes, that's when I met you at the pool, and Mr. Real Estate Game was like, "Oh, I'm in commercial real estate," and me being in what I had going on,
yeah.
I was like, "Really?"
So wait. So we explained to the viewers what's going on here. So we live at an apartment building, which I'm not gonna say the name because obviously
We don't want to give them that.
we don't want to give them credit. And the other thing is that we also don't want to face any kind of legal
of course.
shit because knowing them, they'll fucking go after us
Yeah.
because we said their name.
Slander. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways,
There's a nice high rise down.
Nice high-rise downtown.
Nice high rise
Yeah.
downtown on the way.
so this place is the shit, man. Like on paper. It's awesome, basketball, full size basketball court, like celebrities
Two
living.
pools, celebrity
Yeah,
neighbors. Not that
yeah.
I wanted that.
Yeah, but it is. That's what it is.
It was a bunch of celebrities, not celebrities, like
athletes.
that
a lot of athletes
that were on TV, but you didn't know their name.
You didn't
really.
know about them.
Yeah,
People playing for the.
they're like
Sox,
second string. Yeah. And their
So-
girlfriends were hot as fuck at the dog park. Yeah. And I was hitting on them all day long.
So, anyways, we meet. We're at the gym. We meet through a friend of ours, Saul. He's a cool guy. Marine as well. So we're sitting at the pool just so we get a little background of this guy. So there's another guy that said he's a commercial real estate agent. He's talking it up there. So like they try to work out a deal and nothing ever happened, right, with him.
I wanted to
was-
present. This was, if you're into commercial real estate, you should be very intrigued what I have to talk about. I was talking about 1031 exchange. I was just talking about how you move commercial real estate. The verb, there's a language there. And if you're going to say you're in commercial real estate, I'm going to convert to that language. I'm going to make a story up where I get to start using the language and talking about real estate attorneys and talking about tax attorneys.
And you weren't making anything up. You were really trying to get rid of the other building at the time.
Yeah, I wasn't making anything up. I was in a real deal, and I was telling him, and then I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to pay profit on the money. I'm going to 1031 exchange the money. And
And he said he was going to sell your building.
He said he was going to sell the building, and then I started talking about the percentages, because they made $750,000 off my sale. Like, my realtor made bang.
So hold on. So you sell that old building, you bought it for how much?
I bought it for $775,000.
How much you sell it for?
$1.4 million.
Nice.
Not the second time. The first time I sold it for 1.3, made 110K.
Yeah.
Got it back. Then I sold it
So
a
you
year
really
later
for-
for 1.4. So really, I made 1.5.
1.5. Nice.
1.510.
So I met you then. I remember what happened at that old place, like with all the people that you had that were working there.
What happened with all the guys that were working at my old place?
Yeah, what happened? What happened to all that staff? They're not here.
They took themselves out of the picture, man.
Really?
Each one of them's got their own unique story. This ain't the time for that either. That's negative. That's negative stuff. They're not here for their own reason. I presented this story, and that was my problem. This picture that I presented should have never been casted on them because they didn't see it. And if you didn't see it, maybe you felt left out, and so you went and joined somebody else's team. Another one of the things that I blame myself for is preaching, selling a vision that only I see. But I
They
mean,
didn't
doesn't
see
that
it.
what everyone do?
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
person?
I mean, it's comparable to whatever I had going on, with the app. I mean, I literally made, that business. I started it, and I made it come to life, and a lot of people didn't fucking believe in it. But then guess what? The app's on paper now, and it's a real thing that you can actually look on a phone. It's not launched yet, but you can actually download.
People will drink your Kool-Aid now.
Yeah. People
Before
are like, oh
people
shit.
spit your Kool-Aid right out when they start talking.
But now they look at it and they're like, oh, well, damn, it's an app. So it's like a reality. So then that
That's how it
basically
starts, dude.
Yeah,
It's the beginning process.
yeah. So then now you're here, and we start building this fucking thing out because I took part in helping you with all this space. We start fucking cleaning up, fucking people building
Yeah,
everything
what
that's
you
above
did
us.
good.
We got the loft. We got Nico working. We got people working upstairs on high
There's
rise.
been
We got
tens of dozens of people to help get this facility here.
Yeah.
Artists. Yeah. Yes.
cleaning it up. We got the back rented out. I mean, everything's happening. And then what do you feel like here in this space once it's complete? Because there's so many different things that are happening here. You got the fish tank. You got the DJ booth. You got the boxing rink. You got the rock climbing wall. You got the video game space. Now you're going to have the steam room. What do you feel like since you moved in here? What do you feel like is your biggest win since you've been in this space?
Man, it's been an evolution of wins.
What was your first win?
My first win was my first
when
renter.
you were like, fuck, this is awesome. Your first renter?
Yeah, when I sold the building and I got Chicago Fabs in here and realized that can fit. Nico moved in. The furniture company moved in. I had other people moved in. So all that I was already breaking over the mortgage, just the back space. I had full control of the space. I had everything working. I had my company in here. I had this space to myself, everything else to myself. I then started breaking even. And that's when I was like, we're fucking doing it. We're doing it. I'm not spending any money for this building. Taxes included. We're doing it. And then now...
What was your second win? Like,
the second win, probably when this loft was done, the boxing ring goes in, and I could do the boxing fight. Then, everyone that was laughing at me, man, I kept telling people about my boxing ring vision, about how I'm going to have fights, and like, the look on their faces were like, wait, you're going to have a wood shop, you're going to rent space, you're going to have a boxing ring in it, you're going to have a podcast studio. And I just became like this asshole 9 guy. Like, it sounded really shitty. Especially with all my businesses.
It sounded like a joke, right?
It sounded like a fucking joke. It literally sounded...
It sounds like a fucking joke.
It sounds like a joke. It really does. And if you look up every single one of my companies and everything, and you're going to go, it all works in this space, and it's built custom for his needs, just like he's seen it. And finally, my third biggest nut is today. Me getting here with a real setting and you.
It's a podcast, bro.
And, I mean...
It's a real deal, bro. We got a real, like, legitimate videographer.
Yeah, the events are rolling. And not to mention, I got a call to do from the biggest boxing promoter in Chicago, Bobby Hits. I'll say his name. We're on good terms right now. Everything should work out. He wants to work with me on the content creation because of what we're doing right now. Right now, when we did that fight, we did just a little taste of this.
Yeah.
And we showcased all the fighters, and we gave this the fight scene what we could do. Boom! Now we're doing professional boxing fights in Chicago.
So initially, when you put on the fight, what did you think? Like, you personally, did you
thought
think
we were
it was
gonna
going
get
to be...
zero? I thought we were gonna get some personal content, and I thought no one was gonna view it, and I thought that I could at least say that I did it, because 2 weeks before that fight, they wanted to call it quits. The promotions that I was working with,
because they called
boxing,
it
because the COVID hit. They started feeling pressure because the second wind of COVID hit after the first of the year, and they hit like Tyler. I goes, you know what, guys? I don't quit anything. I goes, we'll do this fight with no one coming to watch. So blessing in disguise, because I had $1,000 tables sold, 10 of them. People already prepaid. It was $10,000. We were taking that route. Then all of a sudden, that happened. I goes, well, fuck it. We're doing this fight so I can videotape it, so I can do this promotion, so I can at least advertise. I need advertising content. And so we did it. And then the ticket sales happened through the stream, through the process of all that bad shit happening of COVID, and like, oh, you can't have your fight, oh, you can't have the tables. So we cut expenses of the booze, the bottle service girls. We removed like $1,500 in expenses, and then we made an extra $1,000 in streaming that we didn't even think to even make, but no one would even do. And then we hit a new thing. We're like, dude, if we get 20 people that all have 20,000 followers that all will buy $10 tickets or $5 to see their friend, we're gonna get this at a scale. And now we're attacking that, and that's why I got a call from Bobby Hits, who's like, hey Tyler, we want to do what you're doing. I don't want to do it. You already created this. And that's when I'm like, all right, looks like I have a network now. Like, this has to be a network. This can't be a podcast. This has to be, because now I'm just providing a value of showing them, getting content, giving it to them, and streaming the content too. But
you're providing a full service agency.
Providing a full service agency. So now
you got the film, the videographers. You got the fucking the interviewers. You got the presenters.
The channel. The way to take
channel.
money. I also take money a different way than third party to Eventbrite and other ticket wholesalers. I'm actually taking the website in through my own platform.
So they're getting 100% of the cut, basically. You get like it's a company, yeah. You don't have to split the pot with somebody that's a big corporate giant.
When the money coming in, it was
mine. Which is huge. It's a small business. And that's why people should fucking support it.
It was going off like ding, 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 ding. Yeah. You were at the fight. Remember, I kept showing you. I'm like, oh, we got 10 more. 10
He was so excited.
I'm like, this is what it is about. This is success.
So what's next? Like, what's next? What's your vision? Where are you taking this? Where are we going with this train?
We're gonna complete this building, and we're gonna get me moved out of it.
Where are you moving to?
I've decided, but I know I can't be here because there's too much going on. I'm gonna come here and work. This is gonna be my building to come back to work. But my personal life is going elsewhere. Like, I've been here for a couple months now, which was part of the plan. I was supposed to move in here, and when I'm in here, I was gonna make it come to life. What are we doing? It took me living in here to bring it to life. To get people wanting to come over here, I had to live here, my clothes here, whatever. I'm here, but I'm not gonna be here forever because there's a big problem with the sun. You know, I haven't gotten a lot of sun. I'm not lying, my vision's been changed a little bit. It's been 2 months. I've been getting blurrier vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been getting out in the sun often. I haven't been getting vitamin D. And I'm like, holy fuck, it's been changing my energy. I sleep more. But dude, I work. I get up in the middle of the night and I work like crazy. I write. I do a lot of work. When no one knows. Which I'm not doing it for people to know. But when they see me, sometimes I'm sleeping at 9, 10 in the morning because I don't see the sun come up. I just was up for 14 hours, you know, and I feel guilty. And I shouldn't.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So that's next.
The next is the next big event is on when?
Rock climbing wall, April 1st.
April 1st, rock climbing wall is going to be streamed live, Facebook, YouTube, and what
Buy it, come in and watch it, hang out in here and watch it from here, just sitting here. We're going to be cameraing it just like this with the rock wall behind us.
So this event will be live too from here.
Yup.
Okay.
You can stream it, or you can come in, or you can compete in it.
And where are people going to be able to buy the tickets for this?
Right on whatever Blows Your Hair Back link website, wherever you see this podcast, YouTube, follow it right back to whatever Blows Your Hair Back website, and it's there as it goes. Click tickets. You can buy any event you want there, and all my events are going to be posted up for the next year there, and the past events are on there too.
So this is where the magic begins of whatever Blows Your Hair Back. This is the platform that we're building here. You know, just obviously this is for your viewing pleasures, but also you can hire this out. This is a service that we can provide podcasting, we can provide the full service. You got videographer, you got presenters, you got content creation, you got the space that you can rent out so you could be here. You can, if you want to do a boxing match, you know, we can help you set that up.
If you want to get something made,
professional done.
Anything you want your car cleaned, you want something made, you just want to leave your house, go somewhere where you can pull your car into if you got a nice car. I'm talking to someone who's leaves their house and has a nice vehicle and hates parking it outside. If you could come pull your vehicle in, come in here, come vent in front of a podcast for yourself, host yourself or your own channel, or come talk, play pool, have your car clean, and be part of this whole atmosphere, and maybe get a meal. That's what we're trying to do in the future. The kitchen's getting built upstairs, all the rumbling you're hearing, and we're going to be able to give you that 3-hour experience to get yourself taken care of. We're going to have a sauna, steam room.
Steam room.
I want to say sauna all the time too. And we're going to have a masseuse here. I got a barber that shows up once a week, and you're just going to be able to take care of all of that. And that's what the private experience is about, nailing all those stupid things that will take a whole day to come in and get this ultimate experience and get them all done. That's what we're trying to achieve next.
And then not only that, but also the content creation side, where you can, you know, if you want to do a commercial, we can do that for you.
If you're a business owner and just want to come here and work for the day and be a member, and there's that opportunity.
Yeah, so it's a
If you're a
service
contractor,
thing.
this should be a honey hole for you. If you're a contractor, you got welders and builders. You're surrounded by millwork guys and guys that can badass project managers. We're both great project managers, and you're surrounded by that advice and knowledge. And I think that you should really capitalize on that. And the business advice that I can give from the experience and success I've had of my 6 companies, and the failures and the startups of other companies and your companies that I've helped and facilitate, that knowledge, it's good. It's good. And you can dig it out of me for free.
There you go.
So
I think that concludes episode 1. Appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you tune in on the next one.
peace, dude. Get over here, Pete.
Come on.
Say peace, dude. Say peace, dude.